Hey, what is up guys, this is Yusuf here from TECHDROIDS and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. And today let's talk the Xiaomi Mi Max 2, so the successor to the big badass phone from Xiaomi last year, the Xiaomi Mi Max, the original big battery monster, the 6.4-inch phablet. This time around there have been a couple of changes, design, specs, hardware. So in this video I'm going to tell you what's good, what's bad, what has changed from last year, and also my honest opinion towards the end of the video. So with that being said, let's get started with that new intro.
Everybody sing that shit.
So I'd love to talk about the hardware and specifications first before the design, as it's kind of a controversial part. So the Xiaomi Mi Max 2 has a 6.44-inch 1080p IPS display which has a pixel density of 342. Not the sharpest, but should be a really good, decent IPS display. It'll have decent color reproduction, viewing angles, contrast, and it can get fairly bright, and you should have no problem using it outdoors as well. You have those big chins at the front, but we'll talk about that again in the design department. Next up, you have a Snapdragon 625 underneath, whereas last year you had a Snapdragon 650 and 652. But it doesn't happen to be a bad chip. The Snapdragon 625 is a really good, powerful, power efficient chip which is made or manufactured on the 14nm FinFET technology. It's coupled with 4 GB of RAM, and there will also be a 6 GB variant, the Prime model or something, whatever it is called, but there will be one with 6 GB of RAM. You'll get 64 and 128 GB of storage, coupled with the Adreno 506 GPU that does the GPU duties, and it all is powered by a monstrous 5300 milliamp battery. For God's sake, Xiaomi has pushed the limits in terms of the battery department. Their cheapest and the smallest power bank retails for about 20 bucks, and it's 5000 mAh, and this happens to be 5300 mAh alone in terms of the phone, and you should have a really good battery life experience. And as it is powering that 6.4-inch display, this kind of battery was actually needed. So you can expect 1.5 to 2 days of battery life from this phone, but don't quote me on this one, as you cannot before the phone actually comes out for review and stuff. But yeah, overall the battery department of this phone should be really good, as it was last year. Next up, you'll have USB Type-C with Quick Charge 3.0, and Xiaomi has implemented something called parallel charging in this one, which is 2 charging modules working together to charge one battery. And Xiaomi claims that the Xiaomi Mi Max 2's battery will be charged 68% in 1 hour, which seems to be a big bold claim because it's a really big battery. But I feel it should be somewhere close to like 50 to 60% in about 1 hour, as that parallel charging has a few advantages up its sleeve. That is, less heat reduction when that charging is actually happening, and it also maintains the temperature of the phone really well, and the charger as well. And it's USB Type-C, so you'll have all the other benefits as well. It also has a 3.5mm jack, IR blaster, and Xiaomi's iconic hybrid SIM slot, which allows for only one SIM card and one SD card at one time, or 2 SIM cards at one point. You'll have dual stereo speakers at the bottom, and when you're holding the phone landscape, you will also use the earpiece, or the earpiece doubles as a speaker as well to give you better multimedia experience, and that's what the phone is meant for. You will have a MIUI 9 and Android 7.1.1 Nougat on the phone, and you should also get an update to Android Oreo as soon as the operating system comes out for other phones. Next up, talking about the design. Now, design from Xiaomi has always been a question mark. Either they do a really good new design, or either they take some quirks or some design cues from the iPhone, and this time around they have done the first thing. They've taken some parts from the iPhone 7. So the antenna lines at the back have been pushed up, and they're now more discreet, more out of focus. The curved edges also play a big role in making it a new iPhone, and it has 2.5D curved glass at the front with the big chins. From the wallpaper to the text and the UI itself, it happens to look like an iPhone. And that's been it. The design is not bad. You have a fingerprint sensor at the back followed by a Mi logo, and it actually looks good. Something that looks like an iPhone, it's not a bad thing. It is not a copy or a clone, it just takes some design cues. Next up, talking about something that the original Mi Max struggled with last year, and that is the camera department. This time around, Xiaomi is using their IMX 386 sensor, a 12 megapixel sensor with 1.25 micron pixel size, which happens to have PDAF, HDR video, f2.0, And on paper, this is a beast of a camera. It was used in the Xiaomi Mi Mix. That is their flagship for this year. And I hope, from the samples at least, the camera should do really well and should also fill that, disappointing camera gap that the last year's Mi Max had. That's been it. Now let's talk about pricing and availability. So the pricing for the 64GB variant is $250 and the 128GB is $290. And both of them come with 4GB of RAM either way. And it's 17,000 and 19,000 in India and 1699 and 1899 yuan in China. It comes out in a few months in India and other parts of the world as it is right now in China. It just takes some time. But I bet you'll not get your hands in the first week or so as it just flies away in the flash sales. But my honest opinions on the phone are really good. It's a really competitive, tough competition to the OnePlus phones and also the Lyacos and the Lenovo's and everyone that's trying to make a budget phone in that price segment. It's a really good deal. You have really good performance, good battery life, and the camera also happens to be really good this time around. So it should be a pretty decent complete package. So you can go for it if you get the accessibility and also if you find the stocks. In India, if you live in Bangalore, you'll find it in the Mi Home or Mi Store, which is officially out and open now. That's been it. Thanks a lot for watching, and one quick moment to give one guy that deserved this shout out. If you saw the intro in this video, it was not my typical old intro, and this one was made by Charismaniac 87 or CM87 as he's known on YouTube. He makes some really good intros using Sony Vegas 14. I'd love to give him this shout out. Please check him out in the links down below. This guy makes some really good intros, so if you want him to make your intros well, he doesn't ask for a lot of money, so you can pay him whatever you want and just get your intro done. He has a lot of talent. That's been it. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.